Hello, everyone, and welcome to Path of Exile Delirium. We're currently on the beach, the very first zone that you start in, and I wanted to make a quick, brief video about how to get ONI-GOROSHI. I believe I have one on this character here, so I've already farmed it up, and what you have to do is you create a couple characters and just run the beach over and over and over again without actually going into the town. And I'll explain that as we go through the zone. Now, I don't have to kill every mob, but I'm going to show you the route that I typically took to level up as quick as possible. Because you do have to get to level 7 before Onigoroshi will ever drop. So, once you leave this beginning area here, I've always come up and gone to the left because there's a lot of times that the little nook over here will have, a couple mobs. Sometimes it's actually a much bigger area, and you'll be able to kill, I don't know, six, seven, eight mobs at a time. Uh, so yeah, and then as you're coming down the beach, you kind of just want to, I don't know, like zigzag, I guess, a bit. Now, I chose to make a Scion, and that's mostly because of the skill spectral throw that you get to start out with. It's very useful when going up against uh, Onigoroshi at the end, right? So when you fight Hillock, that is. So I kind of weave back and forth. That just has your support gem here, which is Onslaught, which is, I mean, it's good, but honestly, it's not, I don't know, the best because usually you're not going to be fighting Hillock with Onigoroshi that gives you like the attack speed and the move speed and stuff like that. Now, I guess you can. I don't really remember it in my fight, but yeah. So this is what I do. I just kind of weave back and forth on the beach. There's not really a whole lot that you have to do because the area is not that big. It's not that wide, so you just kind of go back and forth, right? As you're approaching the end here, because this is pretty much the end once you start seeing a bunch of like this debris, make sure you go to the upper left portion as well, because kind of near the beginning, there's a nook up here, and sometimes once again, it is much bigger and there's quite a lot of enemies. So whether you have to or not, it's always good to fight Hillock at the end. Um, Technically, at this point, you know that he doesn't have Onigoroshi, but he gives decent amount of experience and also could drop some good loot. So some of the other things I want to quickly talk about is things that you might look for in the process of um, gearing up for this fight and while on your path to level 7, right? So some of these spikes here can be pretty good. They have decent attack speed and they have decent base physical damage. So even if you don't get like the greatest roll or the greatest damage, it at least has basic damage to start with. Another one might be the Shank. It has a little bit less than the Spike and the Nailed Fist, which is a claw weapon. But it does have the 30% like increased critical strike chance, so that could be good as well. Some of the hatchets have a good base damage. I think it's the same as the spikes. And once again, the nailed fist, which I don't have one on me, is another good one to look out for. One, it has like health on hit, like per hit. So when you're throwing your weapon, it can hit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and you're getting like 3 health each time. So it's a good way to survive, especially when you're fighting Hillock at the end. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you a clip, the video of me fighting Hillock, and I'm just going to do a voiceover and talk you through what has happened. Okay, so at the beginning, like I said, I started recording as I was approaching him, and you could tell, you see the sword sticking out of his chest, right? It looks different. You could tell that he's not taking as much damage. Um, and like I said, I chose the Scion for the sheer fact of Spectral Throw, and I can kind of keep him at a distance and just kind of kite him around the map a bit. So he does the same thing he does when you normally fight him. Like once he gets down to half health, he'll pull out ONI-GOROSHI out of his chest and he'll go back up to full health. Alright, so one good thing is his second form, he will start summoning a bunch of monsters and start leaping. Alright, so you saw there I almost got one shot. Um, so it's I think that's the thing you have to worry about most, at least with the spectral throw, is make sure you're constantly on the move to make sure you don't get leap slammed. Everything else is pretty simple. He just kind of walks towards you because once again he can't get you into melee range, but he does summon a bunch of zombies. All right, and the zombies are great, honestly, because they constantly will refuel um, your health potions, your mana potions, should you need them, and you do periodically get your onslaught buff. So once again, that gives you move speed, that gives you attack speed, the things that you would typically want in a fight like this, right? Where you're kiting someone going backwards, and you just want to get things moving, I guess, right? So you don't get hit by leap slam and things like that. So here he is. He's almost dead. And so we just got a few more hits here. And then once it's a guaranteed drop once you get to this point. Okay. So just clear up the final mobs that you want to fight. And then there you have it. ONI-GOROSHI. It's a 6-socketed, 6-linked weapon that you can use at level 1. Alright, and it gives you her embrace, which is good because once you catch enemies on fire, you gain a bunch of buffs, but it also means you take damage over time. So, anyway, that's the fight. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.